YouTube, man, get your stuff together. Lost everybody now. Lost everybody now. So awesome of you, YouTube. Thank you for disconnecting. Appreciate that so much. Wow, what a disappointment, YouTube. Alright, give me 1 second. I'm at the post office. I'm going to drop a couple packages off. Texas, here's one of them, the box. And then the rest get dropped off tomorrow. Give me 1 second. Just let the others know that I'll be right back. Actually, you know what? I have to stop back here after when they open. I didn't even think about that. I have boxes, like actual boxes. I can't put the boxes in the drop off. They're not open yet, like open yet. So that's not gonna work. So I don't know. I think we lost everybody. Is it just me and Jacob in here, or is my counter now not working either? Give it a second. Let's see if anyone else comes in. But it's been a minute 30. They probably won't re-recommend my stream now, which is awesome. Thanks, YouTube. Thanks a lot. So anyway, I'm gonna tail in. We got cut off by YouTube deciding to kill my... What's up, SRB? I appreciate that, brother. We got cut off in the last round. Appreciate you, man. That's awesome of you, brother. I still got to figure out, I still got to get paid by YouTube, man. I still haven't, it's been like a year or so, and I've been a 7th or 8th request for my PIN. I check my address information, everything they have for address, for AdSense, everything they have is correct. So I don't know if the post office is doing something weird where they're rerouting it, even though I don't have a forwarding on. I had a long time ago when I was at the hotel, but I got that all changed and swapped, and I get other stuff, so I don't know. But anyway, I'm gonna finish off that story I was trying to finish for you guys. So I'll just kind of start quick. I'll go through a quick beginning. So we went to school with a guy, and my buddy that I work for now, went for web design, and he realized it wasn't something he was going to be able to probably make a ton of money on. There was too much competition. So what he ended up doing is he ended up building a website for one of our other guys we went to school with that was in the auto parts business already. And like I said, he built a very good site, very, very good site, but he didn't build it as good as he was going to build his, pending the deal. Even though they were competitors, but not really, because Jake was more used. He was going to be more remanufactured parts, not used. So anyway, long story short, he goes and he flies out, meets up with this family that owns this remanufacturing facility, and basically sells it to them that he will be able to sell in quantities with, all over the U.S., which is something they didn't have. They were very old school, and they still are very old school. They have a lot of farmers. They have a lot of locals that basically walk in. They bring like a transmission, and let's say it's an NV 4500 out of a Dodge 500 from a farm truck. It fails, it goes bad. I actually saw this with my own eyes because we went out there and visited them. The guy will bring a transmission and put it on the table and talk to one of the guys and go, I need to get this thing fixed. And they'll just throw them a number. They're pretty much making up numbers most of the time to make good money. And they'll tell them, okay, yeah, we'll fix it, $1,500. Well, we sell that transmission fully remanufactured from them for $11.95. So you can see where they're making their money. But you sell enough in quantity too. They're still making money on us on every unit they sell, just not anywhere near as much. We're pushing out thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of that, just that one transmission, that 4500. So he sells it to him. And I'll never forget the owner of the remanufacturing facility. The guy actually passed away. Rip Donnie. He passed a couple years ago. He lived to be almost 100 years old, and the guy was freaking awesome. He worked up till he was like 90, probably 93, 94 years old. He would always answer the phone. So you know he would be there because he'd always answer the phone, with the company, and then he would say, "Is this Smart Parts? How you doing today? You know what?" He would always want to talk forever. "We should look into you guys selling us this and this and this." Nice, dude. You went the wrong fucking way, you idiot. Fucking cutting people off and shit. Fucking idiot. You go around. It's that way. Anyway, he would always like, "Hey, you guys should look into selling drive shafts and blah, blah, blah." And I'd be like, "All right, yeah, man, maybe one day we will," and I always try to get him off the phone because I usually had a customer that was like kind of impatient, wanting some information, tracking information, whatever. That's why I was usually calling them, and so you get him on. But when we went to visit, they had all these pictures of him all over the walls. He was like a boxer back in his day. These black and white photos of him, like he was a boxing champ. And so it would be hilarious because we'd be sitting there all sitting with him eating or whatever, and he'd be like, we talk about his boxing past, and he would just like get up and get in a stance, and he'd be like, "See, the problem is all them boys that used to throw hands, they didn't know how to square up properly." And so like he would like go, "All right," and he would like try to reposition us, like even though like his positioning probably wasn't the right way, but back then maybe it was. And you're like, "All right, yeah, okay. Oh, I get it. Oh yeah," you're just kind of like, you listen up, go ahead, whatever. So, very, very, very cool guy, very cool old man, very old school boxer, man, very, very, very old school boxer. And just wait a couple years and make it a retirement account. Yeah, right? Yeah. So, and then now, basically, just to kind of paint you guys a picture, when I started with my best friend Dylan, when he called me, I was managing Walmarts. I did that for like 7 years. After Best Buy, I went to Walmart because they promised me good things, like as a manager even, that I would have more family time, make a little more money than I was. 1 second, guys.
Good morning, how are you?
Good, you?
Good, thanks for asking. What can I get started for you?
Can I get let me get a Venti caramel ribbon crunch with 2 shots of espresso, please. Yes, ma'am.
For sure, what else can I get started for you?
That'll do it.
Can I get a name?
Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff. 809, we'll see you at the window.
Thank you. So, when I started with him, and, it was a big risk for me to take because I didn't really know. I mean, I knew that he was doing all right. He was doing okay, and I didn't really know where the volume was going to be because the trade-off was if I was to go work for him, he kind of made promises, but, as much as you would hope that one of your good friends would make promises, he can't really promise the future and what's going to happen with a business. Nobody can, right? We don't know. Anything can happen. Anything can change that. So I had to really trust him and trust myself to make this jump. And I'll never forget it. I'll never forget the first day I went over to his house. And he gave me a price list of what our cost was and kind of gave me an outline of what shipping kind of was. He just said, you really just ballpark it. Shipping's usually not going to run any more than X amount of dollars, no matter if as long as it's in the U.S. and that's the only thing we'd ship. So, like, if we're shipping from Oklahoma and it goes to New York, the most it's going to be if it's this type of transmission is going to be X amount of dollars. So you just say shipping is a little bit more. You know, you're trying to make a few bucks on shipping as well, and that's what we do. We do make good money on shipping because depending upon our distributor now, which we have 4 distributors, we started with 1, some of them don't charge us shipping to ship the product to the customer, just the return of the core. So we usually make 100 and some bucks on one direction right out the gate. 1 second. Hi. And then I got this for you too. How are you doing?
I'm good.
That's good. Staying warm. Staying warm.
I'm trying.
All right. Have a good day.
Have a good day.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Yep. That lady's always here, Dawn. She's awesome. So anyway, so when I started there, there was a lot of, and the first day I went, I got this list, and my boy, even though he probably had access to a lot of other things to sell, he is a guy that likes to stay comfortable, meaning when it comes to something that he has to do. So if he has to take calls, once he knows something, he doesn't want to try to learn something else, right? So basically, it was just manual transmissions that he was selling, and that was it. Manuals, period. That was all he was selling when I started. So the first day I went there, and I went to his house, he worked out of his house. First day I went to his house, I take some calls, whatever, kind of get a feel, got an idea of what I was going to say when I answered the phone, when I got a call. And so towards the end, he said, hey, do you want to try to take a couple calls? You can take off now, but do you want to try to take a couple calls? You got the price list, everything else. And I was like, sure. So my girlfriend picked me up. Yeah, that's crazy. I know they don't do that. It's crazy. So anyway, I got a phone call on the way home. My girlfriend picked me up. I got a phone call on the way home, and I had a guy call, and he called about a Jeep. It was a 1993 Jeep Wrangler, 2.5 liter 4-wheel drive, right? And I remember this because this was my first sale with that company. And he asked, do you guys have one? I said, yeah, it shouldn't be a problem. And then he's like, all right, what's the price? And I got him shipping, and he said, I'll take it. So, and that was at the end of the day, right? So basically there wasn't much going to be for calls coming back in. So the next day I show up and I'm excited because I tell him, dude, I got my first sale last night on the way home. First, it was probably like my second call. First or second call. I think it was my second call. Anyway, so the next day I'm over there and he's giving me more calls while I'm with him. And I ended up selling 3 transmissions the second day that I was with him, that I was there, second day on the job. And I just, kind of for me with sales, things are very natural, right? I don't care what it is. They always say a good salesman can sell anything, whether he knows much about it or not. Guys, I'm not an auto genius. I don't work on cars. I never have. I usually pay people to do stuff like that. But I got to know the product very, 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 very quick. And so the reason why I'm telling you this story is because, like I said, there was only manuals. So there was probably, and we had basically 2 distributors at the time. We did most of our stuff with one, but we had access to a couple other manuals that they couldn't do or they couldn't offer, like 6-speed Fords and stuff, like ZFs and Dodge 5600s, G56s, because our main one couldn't supply them. So anyway, we're making good money. It's all right, but I always felt like there wasn't enough to do. There wasn't enough calls between me and him because he would take calls still at this time. He would forward something to me. If he declined his, it was forwarded to my phone. It would go to my phone. If he was on another line, he would forward it to me, right? But there was a lot of downtime. And for some people, they may enjoy that. And they may think, oh, that's cool. You can fuck around. Look at shit on computers, watch videos, pause them, have a movie on if you wanted to. And he did have like a theater set up with like nice theater chairs and stuff that we sat on. We had a table with our laptops and whatever. But that's not really who I am when it's work time for me. Like when it's work time for me, I want to work, right? I want to make money. Like I'm not working to sit around and not do anything and not make any money. And that's how my hustle's always been. Like, guys, I've packed a bag and started my life over numerous times and left everything else behind. I've always had that. No matter how comfortable I am, how am I going to eat and how am I going to feed my kids tonight? That's the mentality. That's how I always work when I work. And it's always driven and pushed me to things beyond. I think, you know, again, I do want to film myself sometime at my office, at my job. Like, the problem is personal information and stuff. I'd probably have to have it on mute, maybe just to give you a visual. But most times I'm doing 3 or 4 things at one time. I have 2 big ass monitors side by side. I could be on a phone call, my Bluetooth, taking an order. While I'm taking an order, I could be setting up a core return on another screen, you know, checking on something else here, running a VIN here. There's always something going on. You know, and it always seems like everything comes in at one time. Like there is like four orders towards the end of the day yesterday. It was a lot of calls, but very quiet as far as sales went. And then like in the afternoon at like 4 o'clock, there was like 4 sales back to back to back to back. So I'm actually running a card and taking another order, you know, because I want to keep myself up. Even though I wouldn't have to do that, I get this mode of I'm going to get behind. I don't want to get behind, even though I could always get myself caught up at any time. I don't like that feeling. I feel like I'm behind if I got stuff sitting there. And I think that's what's helped me work from home myself, continue to be successful in what I do, or I feel I've been successful, because I don't want to ever get behind. I won't let myself get behind. If I have to go out like on a Friday, like this morning, it's before calls. But like in the afternoon when I have to go get my check and stuff, if somebody asks me about, hey, can you go do this or go do that for me, or can you pick me up, or can you... I typically am like, you're going to have to hold on. I have to get back to the office because I got things I got to do and I want to do. So I could push people off until the end of the day. I could, you know, check on core credits because I told them I'll get to them by the end of the day. But I don't want to do that. I'd rather get to them as soon as I can. I'd rather get back to them so that I don't forget. Because as calls come in, I may forget. I don't know. By the way, cheers, all you guys, and your favorite beverage. And shout out to my guys, ClassicPackBreaks.com. I did order a shirt. They threw me an extra one, so shout out to them. I will be wearing their shirts around when I go streaming and doing things. So anyone else, any other companies that want to send me any mail or any shirts or anything, apparel, I'll definitely wear it when I do streams. Shout you out. So, and then the last thing before I go is I just want to... you know, I haven't given shout outs to people for really a while. Haven't done like I used to do my shout out Sunday streams, and maybe I need to do something to bring that back because I think it's important that we recognize people and that we recognize those that help us in some way, push us, do good things for other people, do good for us, you know. And I guess the first person, you know, I really want to shout out, which I may have said something earlier today, but is Zach. I'm so proud of him. I'm so proud of the young man he is. He really, I know he's got that hustle in him, man, and I know it and I see it. You know, if you see him posting things on Twitter, he posts pictures of the jobs, the before job and after job of what he's done. I mean, he's doing this stuff on weekends. Tell me another tomorrow, Beast Mode. Did you get your payment in? I don't know. I didn't check. But yeah, they'll ship out tomorrow. I got a couple going out today, but everything else is packaged up. They just got to get labels, which I do Friday nights when I get back from the mall. And then they'll get dropped off in the morning. It's always typically Saturday mornings, Beast Mode. So... So tell me another kid his age that's going out and doing what he's doing on the weekends. And he's not forced to. You know, it's different if it's, and shout out to any other kid that's working their tail off on a weekend or going and doing something. But I would bet that in most cases, most kids, if they are working or doing something like that, it's because they absolutely have to, because you know they work for their parents or something and they're telling them they have to. He flat out goes and does it whenever he gets a job and can do it. So that's gonna pay off huge. That's gonna pay off big dividends. Stick with what you're doing, Zach. Man, I'm so flippin' proud of you, man. Another guy is actually, he's in here as Texas card collector, man. Jacob. And the dude is always in my streams. Dude is always, and not that you have to purchase stuff to be a supporter of mine, but dude is always supporting things. Dude, instead of blasting me, reaches out to me and sends me a text and shows me a picture of a card that he had got from me, which was that Betts update rookie, where you couldn't notice it. I couldn't notice it in the penny sleeve in the top loader, and I got it from someone else. I never even took it out of the penny sleeve, and, you know, because I would have never put it up or sold it. You know, I'm bring attention if there's something with some issue on the card or something. But yeah, that's awesome, Jacob. He, you know, and so he just hits me up. He sends me a text and says, dude, I don't know, man, this is crazy. It's like, it wasn't noticeable at all, like, whatever, just letting you know. And I'm like, well, that shit doesn't fly with me, man. That's not cool. That's not me. That's not what I do. I don't send cards like that. In fact, I told him about a Robert that I had, a rated prospect orange Robert. Rated prospect orange Robert. I sold actually to Scoves in an auction, right? And I had just bought it from somebody else, and I thought it was clean and whatever. And when I was really looking it over, two of the corners looked really bad. Like, you couldn't notice it just in the one touch from an eye. I had to look up really close. And so I hit up Scoves right away and sent him pictures. I said, dude, I'm not going to charge you for this, you know, unless you want it. I can give you a super discount on it. And he's like, nah, I'd rather not take it. So, you know, I try to save myself from those situations. And I know sometimes things happen. But, you know, at the end of the day, I'm always going to make it right. I'm not going to be like, you're screwed or F you. And Jacob didn't even say anything. He didn't even say he wanted anything. In fact, his words to me were, in a text, were like, dude, it's all good, brother. He's like, you win some, you lose some. Well, my people that buy from me are not going to win some and lose some. They're going to win some and win some. And that's the only way I'm going to have people that buy from me or through me, and how that's going to work. So if there's ever an issue, I'm going to make it right. So in his box of all his other stuff that he purchased, I sent him a little nice stack of some cards to make up for that. And I think he'll be happy with it. I think he'll be pleased. And again, he wasn't ever asking for anything. He wasn't even, I mean, he was bummed. I don't know how mad he was, but he wasn't taking out on me. He wasn't calling me an asshole. He wasn't saying, oh, you scammer, or you. He actually did what an adult does, which we all should do, and reached out to me. I just said, hey, I just want to show you this. I just want you to know this. And, you know, and that's huge. So, and then another person I need to shout out, I haven't listened to the podcast yet because I didn't know when it was actually starting. I thought it was supposed to be around noon. I was looking for it. I have to go back and listen to it. I probably will this morning yet. But Jimmy Guns was on a podcast, a hobby podcast yesterday, and Balls was listening to it, and Balls sent me a text and said, Jimmy is saying a lot of nice things about you on this podcast right now. So Jimmy Guns, man, appreciate it, dude. It means a lot. You know, I always say, you know, I always feel like I'm just the guy on the other side, and like people don't want to ride with me when it comes to like cross promotions and whatever, besides like BITG and, you know, whoever else. But, you know, there's a lot of guys out there that I feel I've done a lot with and for them, and haven't really got much back. But Jimmy's definitely a real one, man. And all I can say is thank you, brother. Like, it means a lot. I didn't hear what's been said. I don't know what he said, but whatever it was, I'm gonna listen to it. I will hear it. I do appreciate you, brother. I really do. You know, you're one of the real good ones, and it's not just because I'm not saying this now just because you said kind things about me in a podcast. I'm saying this, and I think anybody can speak for this. You do a lot. You do a lot for the hobby, man. And I think in reality, I think me and you push each other to want to even do more than what we do. And I think there's a lot. So, man, just keep being you, keep doing you, dude. Keep being the real man. Keep being the real one you are. You're just like me, dude. You're very honest. You're very open. You know, I would say that you, like I said, yesterday, Marky from Syndicate Sports Cards, his story, just because of how in-depth his stories were, and how, you know, I felt that he was probably the best interview I ever did. But Jimmy's up there. Him and Javier are up there as probably the tops on people on in-depth interviews I did, because of their honesty, you know, because of their willingness and their openness, and you know, what they're able to share and tell us. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna go. Enjoy your guys' Fridays. I flippin' love you guys. Your packages will either be on the way today or tomorrow. Dent, Jacob, and then I had an eBay deal. Those three are shipping out this morning because they're boxes. And then everybody else's packages are packaged up already. I'll get the labels printed tonight. I'll drop them off in the morning when we do our Caffeine with the Stream tomorrow morning. So, guys, I love y'all, man. Have an awesome, awesome, awesome Friday. And until I see you again, and maybe I might stream tonight when I go on my way to pick up the girls. We're going to the mall. My son's going to stay put in quarantine because he feels like he may be getting COVID. He doesn't know. He's not like super weak, but he just doesn't have sense of smell and whatnot. So we'll see. So I love you guys, man. Be good. Until next time. Later, guys.